My name is Tyler Love, and I'll be telling you all about the time match for the GHSA Wrestling State Finals. So, the match before the finals are called sectionals. That's the matches you have to win before you can make the state. So, I was able to make the sectionals based on the past experiences and matches I've won and lost based on the records that I have. So, the sectionals was at the Oglethorpe Gym down in Oglethorpe County. It was a good 2 hour bus ride away. It was early in the morning. It was cold. It was tiring. And it was just not a very fun bus ride. I was getting super nervous. I was listening to my music and I was sleeping at the same time, trying to worry, well, trying not to worry, and trying to be able to focus on the match and focus and be ready for the upcoming match that I had. When we arrived to the Oglethorpe Gym, it was a huge outcome. It was four mats and four teams. It was Oglethorpe, Westside High School, our opposing school, Glen Hills, and our rival school, ARC. So when we got on the wrestling mats, we first changed into our singlets, and then we were able to just practice, get our blood. We ran around the mats, did some small exercises, some team building exercises, and we got ready. Our coach then talked to us about what our requirements for these matches to win today was. He told us that we would have had to at least win one of our matches to be able to make it to the state. To be able to make it to state is one of the biggest achievements that a wrestler can have, especially in high school, especially within their first year. So I was extremely nervous and had a high amount of anxiety going into it. But my match wasn't until probably an hour later. So I had enough time to practice and watch the other matches and see how they went. I weighed in and I weighed the right amount weight of 131.2, making it in the weight class of the 132 class. Within that, I sat down on the bleachers and just waited for them to call my name. While I was on the bleachers, I was looking at videos of wrestling takedowns, wrestling stories, wrestling experience, and wrestling techniques I could be able to use in my matches. While at the same time looking at the matches my teammates were giving as they won in their first 30 seconds of the first round. When I was put onto the mat for my first round, my opponent was this tall Caucasian boy. I forgot his name, but he was very tall. He was Caucasian. He was about my width in muscle mass anyway. And so he was more the aggressive type. He wanted to win a lot more than I did at that moment. So he was able to take me down quickly within the first round, and I wasn't able to recover. At that point, after my first loss, I felt a huge amount of shame and panic, thinking I was not going to make the state because I didn't think I was good enough. So I went to the locker room to calm down and breathe, and my coach came in there with me. He was like, "I need to talk to you." He was like, he told me that he knows how scary it is for me being a first time wrestler and for me being a shy, nervous kid, being able to make it to wrestling state. It's a very large achievement and very nerve wracking. But as long as I win my second match, I can make the state. And I was like, okay, coach. So I got out the locker room and they called my name to the second match. Before the second match started, I eyeballed my opponent. He was this tall, dark skinned dude with locks, and throughout the crowd, I heard he had over 5 years of wrestling experience with a slight minor in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, which is a great construct and addition for wrestling. So I looked at my coach, he looked at me, and I was able to get on the mat. When the ref blew the whistle, the first round was long, but it gave me enough time to analyze my opponent, to analyze what techniques he used. He was more on the aggressive side while I was more on the defensive because he's going on a 4 or 5 year wrestler, racing into 1 year. He wanted to get the match over with and ending, but I wasn't going to let him. Because even though I had zero, not a lot of experience, I had a high amount of determination to win and go through with the match. So when the first match ended, I looked at my coach and went to my corner. We exchanged a few words saying, "You got this, just finish off this last match strong," because I was 2 points ahead. And so when the ref called us back in, he asked if I wanted to be top or bottom. I said top. So I got on top of my opponent. I looked at my coach and my teammates, feeling a huge amount of pride. I was like, okay, I can do this. The ref blew the whistle, and I was able to grab my opponent's wrist and lay him flat. In that moment, I was able to go around to the top of his head and twist his body of where he's on his backside. When I did this and I got him on his back, my ears rang as my teammates and coach yelled, "Hold him, keep still, you got this." And I held him so long, by the end, so long, so tight that by the end of it, I was exhausted. As soon as I got up, the ref blew the whistle. I looked at my coach. The ref, did I win? They were like, yes, you won. I was like, all right, sweet. I was overjoyed and filled with the amount of pride. I shook my opponent's hand. I shook the ref's hand. I said, thank you for the great match. Went to my coach. I looked at him. He said, good job. And I went to the bleachers to relax. I called my mom. She's like, Tyler, how'd you do? I said, I won. I won my last match. I'm going to state. She was like, congratulations. And in that moment, I realized that if I want to any goals or anything I have in my life that I want to complete, I have to have that same amount of determination I had for that wrestling match to achieve